And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at a small card game from AEG called Cypher. Now the game comes packaged in a plastic thing, but it's basically this bag, which looks very similar to Love Letter, and that's because this is kind of in the same family. This is a 19 card game, very quick to play. We're talking less than 10 minutes to play a game. Basically playing cards, trying to get a big combination in front of you. Let me show you how it plays. So let's say you're playing a 4-player game. What you're going to do is you're going to give player number 1, you're going to give them 3 cards. And then player number 2, you'll give 2 cards. Player number 3, you'll give 2 cards. And player number 4 gets 1 card. You'll take the rest of the cards, put them in the middle, and turn one of them face up. Now, we'll start with player number 1. Player number 1, the first thing he's going to do is he's going to look at the cards in his hand, and he's going to pick one of these cards to play. So let's say he plays the Syndicate Chief here. Okay, so he plays that in front of him. He then draws a card. He can draw this card, in which case it's replaced, or he can draw the top card of the pile. Then, when he's done with that, he's going to take 1 card and pass it to the person on his right, and 1 card that he wants to and pass it to the person on his left. At the end of your turn, you will have only 1 card. You'll see that this person here now has 3 cards, and when they're done playing 1, drawing 1, passing them, and now they're down to 1 card, but this person's up to 3 cards, and so on and so forth. Now the game will end when the draw pile is gone completely, or if someone plays the Cyber Anomaly, and that can't be the first card you play. You have to have another character in play. When that plays, the game is about to be over. Every other player gets 1 last turn. Players will then total up the numbers. You can have 3 people in front of you, and most people will likely have 3 people in front of them at the end of the game. You'll add up the numbers on them. So this, for example, would be 12. There might be some bonuses involved. Whoever has the highest number wins. And if there's a tie, then whoever caused the game to end will win a tie or clockwise from that person. Now when you play a card, that card is going to have a special ability that either comes into play instantly or happens at the end of the game. Each card is a different color. You'll see that there's upper class, middle class, and lower class cards. Everybody gets one of these cards. On one side it tells you how to play and list the cards. Cards are not only a color, they also show you an arrow, upper, middle, or lower, so that if you're colorblind you can differentiate between them. So the highest guy in the game is a 9, the Core Overseer, but when you play him you have to get rid of all your lower class cards. And another 9 is the Aristocrat, and she makes you get rid of all your middle class cards, and if you in the future if you play a middle class card, she leaves. None of these people. The Executive, when you play him, you can switch positions of him with the Core Overseer. It's a good way to steal 9 points from somebody. The Coder, when you play him, you can draw 2 more cards. That means you're going to have to discard more cards. When you discard cards, you'll discard them to the bottom of the draw pile instead of to a discard pile. Android's a 5 with no effect, but that's not positive. I mean, that's not negative either. In the middle class, we have the Archivist, who when you play him, you add a coder from another player's player or display, so you can steal someone else's coder, which is this guy here. Which makes, again, the Android worthwhile because they can't be stolen. The Technomancer, when you play him, all other players have to get rid of all their upper class cards. However, if you play a Data Runner in front of you, he protects you from other players' Technomancers, and there's 2 of Technomancers. There's 2 of some of the cards. The Syndicate Chief here is worth 3, but if he's with the lower class people, he's worth 6. Speaking of lower class, here we go. First with the Body card, you can discard him to ignore the text on someone else's card. Very handy to protect your big number of people. The Hacker, you can draw cards from the bottom of the deck. So if you see the Coder put a card in the bottom of the deck, or you are the Coder, he's a way to get it back. The Extractor, you'll draw 3 cards when you play him, and then one of those cards is out of the game for good. And the Fixer, when you play him, you get to draw a card and play another card. And the Cypher lets you play another card. There's 2 of these, and they will also let you end the game, so that you realize that this game isn't going to last very long. Now, it's kind of weird because Love Letter I really enjoy. I have several different versions of Love Letter. I like it, and I really like Love Letter's sequel, which is called Lost Legacy. And Lost Legacy basically came out the same time Cypher did here. And yet Cypher, to me, seems to miss something. Yeah, there's some interesting things. You're trying to get 3 cards in front of you of the highest value, and gameplay plays quick. You're like, oh, and you could play again and take points for each game. Or you could play even where you take one of the 19 cards out so you don't know that a certain card is in there. I prefer to have all the cards in, but it's very easy. It just seems like it's missing something. I played it multiple times, and then I was done. And you know what? If I never played it again my entire life, I wouldn't blink. And see, Love Letter, if someone brings it up, I'll be like, yeah, I'll play some Love Letter. I don't know. Love Letter seems to have some more trying to outguess other people. Here you kind of just play the cards you have. And you might be trying to guess where a certain card is and how it will affect you at the end, but this one is okay. And for a small game like this to be okay is probably not good. I think maybe, I don't think anyone's going to get gypped. They'll get it, they'll play it a few times, and even if you got rid of it, you probably get your money's worth out of it, so that's not bad. The theme is that whole Android Netrunner, cyber hacking in the future type theme. Nothing really new there either. It is small though, portable, easy to play. So those are positives. I'm not trashing the game. This review is probably longer than the game is. But it's forgettable, and that's problematic. Cypher.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.